hibiscus needs a blow. Evening. It's not going to be a long live tonight. I don't know whether it's this tsunami of shite that's going around. Seemingly there's flu for the first time in 5 years, because there wasn't any since the winter of 2020. There's not been any flu. There's only been Charlie 19, and then miraculously no flu, all Charlie 19. And then Charlie 19 disappears because it gets weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. That's what happens with viruses. And then the flu on steroids has reappeared. And hang on a second, let me just do this so you can see my handsome features. Lovely. And now we're being told by Wes, no, I don't want to be leader of the Parliamentary Labour Party. I don't want Keir Starmer's job. Much. So I don't know about you. I don't know whether you've had this whatever's going round. It'll be man-made, obs, considering the amount of lies they've told us since March 2020. Oh, we're just going to lock you down, just to flatten the curve, 5 or 6 weeks, and then everything will be fine. 2 years later. So I have the most awful sore throat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a smaller live tonight, and then we'll give it 24 hours rest, and hopefully all the stuff that I've prepared for tonight I can do tomorrow night, because there's some stuff that, well, what can I say? The deep state's not going to be very happy. So if you will forgive me, I was in the middle of trying to decide whether just to delay tonight's live for 24 hours. And then I thought, well, no, so long as you can have something to walk your dogs to in the morning. Sorry, I'm trying to manage the sore throat. So that, and I'm just kind of going for it in my usual style. But all I'm saying is that hopefully a few throat lozenges, the usual hibiscus, and a few Jaeger bombs, hopefully a good night's sleep will turn it around. So I apologise before we get going. Let me just alter that camera angle. Lovely. So head's a bit woolly, throat's very sore, very, very sore. So I need to kind of manage it, but I wanted to do something. I'm not a size queen, but, you know, something small and entertaining for this evening. So we might use the comments. We might actually have a very interactive 45 minutes or an hour. And I can just tell you off the top of my head what's really going on. Because I think there's a PMQs on Wednesday, and then Parliament closes for about 6 months from Friday for the Christmas break. They have 6 months for the Christmas break, and then they have 6 months for their summer break, and then they don't do any in work. Call themselves, I mean, it's not a career as such, it's just hot air and gobshitery. But I will say this. So we've only got 5 lives left. 5 lives has a certain iteration to it. Honestly, my head is so woolly this afternoon. Could be flu, Your Honour. Flu. No, I didn't. Just flapped my wings lots. There's only 5 lives left, and I want to, from here on in, I want to kind of make it a balance of, well, some stuff that you need to know, because obviously the liars, that's them in the Zempic Palace, trying to get past you, and the mainstream media, and what's going on in Venezuela, and Gaza, and Iran, and Ukraine, all the lies and stuff that we're going to decode and just tell them to foxtrot Oscar, because they are lies. So I'll sort of decode some of that tomorrow. I also want to get into the feeling of, Christmas? Holidays are coming. Holidays are coming. Holidays are what? Fucking Americans. No class. We're a Christian country. Well, if you're a Christian fucking country, it's Christmas is coming. Christmas is coming. It's the Lord Jesus Christ, and he's only the fucking Christ. Sorry, was that the start of a rant there? Sorry, I've that's why I've got the scarf on. Just as honestly, I need warm honey, or I need something to lubricate my throat. Jaeger bombs. Hang on a second, because every time I take a sip of this, well, that's better. Hang on, another one. Thank you to Stuart. I've put more than just a couple of tincture bottles of Jägermeister in the hibiscus, because it's good for you. It's good. It's breakfast of skiing champions. So honestly, I can. It's almost like I need my throat lubricating with something. And that's not a euphemism before you start. Well, it is, if you know what I'm talking about. But my yes, all that. So I'm waiting for everybody to get their feet under the table. And what we'll do tonight, I have lots of stuff here that's not on me forehead, it's behind me forehead, behind me pineal gland, and my recall's not so bad. Used to be so much better in my 30s. We can play this. There's a button. There's two buttons I want you. There's two buttons that I want you to be aware of. Can you get Radio Luxembourg on those? There's two buttons I want you to be aware of. One is hype. Don't believe the hype. Said Public Enemy, if you remember, a good old. I wonder what happened to Public Enemy. I mean, they were just like out there in the 80s. Yeah, you had to be into rap, or as the Thompson Twins once says, rap boy, rap. And Public Enemy were like, their samples were incredible, and the songs go, yeah, boy. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Hang on. Hang on. Do you know what I really fancy to help me throat? Lemsip. I think that's what I need. Hang on a second. Death toll of Bondi Beach attack rises to 16. Australian police say. We can talk about that if you want. That. Sorry, if it's pauses for a second, it's because me well-hung lesbian fingers just pressed the wrong button. So. What was I going to say? Yes, we can talk about Bondi Beach if you want in a second, because I'm not believing everything that I read. In fact, I believe nothing, because it's a fucking film. It's scripted, man. So why? And we'll do a mixture. Instead of doing the comments and the parish notes, like 7:15 or 7:30. What's this? I'm fucking Kung Fu. Mild-mannered janitor. Hong Kong Fluey. I think we'll do some stuff now, and I'll do the comments, and we'll kind of mix it. And then when my throat gets too much, I'll kind of pack it in, if that's okay with you. I just want something there recorded for people who walk their dogs on a morning, who are now laughing because they're walking their dogs, and they're looking at their dogs, listening to me and their heroes, going, how did he know? Is he psychic? Give me the bloody lottery numbers. But the Bondi Beach, I've told you. You know this. I've told you repeatedly, and I'm not just talking once or twice, bloody dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of times. I've told you, if you want to see what's going on in the world, don't look to America, look to Canada and Australia and New Zealand. And then Australia. Oh, they've banned the internet for the under 16s. Bless them. How on earth are they going to survive in life without their porn? Well, you think I'm joking? I mean, what are they going to do? They're going to have to go to school and study. Little feckers. Oh, hang on a second. I need to keep this warm stuff going down my throat. Oi. And Bondi Beach, the Jewish community. So it was a terrorist attack targeted at the Jewish community, just like Manchester. Blimey, what's going on in the world? As Q says, we're going to leave Israel to last. Oh, you thought he was joking? Oh, right. And Netanyahu negotiating a pardon, but you've got to admit guilt before you can be pardoned. So we've now got this Mexican standoff where, Netanyahu's got his 6-shooter out, and then Isaac Herzog has got his, oi, Bibi, mate, stop going about, admit guilt, and I'll think about pardoning you. No. You've got to pardon me before I admit guilt. No, that's not how it works, mate. So you admit guilt, and then I'll look at pardoning you. And Bibi's like, no, I don't trust you. Metaphorically, of course. These are not words that have come out of their gobs. And Itzhak has... President of Israel, not Prime Minister, President. President's above Prime Minister. President makes the Prime Minister do as they're fucking told. And so who's going to blink first? Well, it might be Bibi. Because, the Israeli nation wants him in jail. Languishing in jail for the rest of... he's natural. I mean, there's the International Crime Court thingy. Technical term. And they found him guilty on an arrestable warrant. And Bibi's like, no, you can't have that. No. We give too much money to the Americans, man. The Americans will tell you what to do. Yeah, Q's told you exactly what they're going to do. Leave Israel till last. Buckle up, Buttercup. It's going to get bumpy. Grab your popcorn, because Bibi Netanyahu, he's not long for this world. Oh, how do you know that, Adrian? Oh, just call me Psychic Reverend. He'll end up getting shot in 2026. Not that I wish that upon him. No, I wish him long life and good health. But you can't escape your destiny. Who do you think I am? God? I'm just a reverend. I'm just a man with a garb. I'm just a man perpetuating God's message, which is, I'll have a fiver at 3-1. You won't have many other people telling you that on their bloody lives on YouTube, will they? No, not got the kahunas. So we're going to take your comments. Oh, sorry, 2 things. I was slightly distracted by Public Enemy. Don't believe the hype. Yeah, boy. So there's a hype button. You know the 3 little buttons under the live thingy. Now, these are all technical terms, so you're going to have to stay with me. Those buttons, you just need to click on them. And you click on them, it goes, hype. High karate. Whoever wore that? Bloody hell. It would strip the wallpaper off your walls. High karate. And seemingly, if you wore it, you had good-looking women follow you around. Stalkers, they weren't called that in the 70s. They were called high karate girls. And I promise you, this is just going to be a stream of consciousness tonight. It's look, I've got no script, I've got no notes, I've got no nothing. It's I'm flying by without wires, without a safety net. Many people do that? No. So there's the hype button. If ever you find like one of me ghost stories or me Hugh Edwards, because there's another Hugh Edwards video coming. Oh, what about Rev? Can't tell you, but I can use the word paedophile on here and not get sanctioned for it. So I'll just say, Hugh Edwards, in my view, paedophile, because he was found guilty of it in a court of law. And technically, he was given a 6-month sentence, suspended for 2 years. Now, what that means is, if he falls foul of the law in any of those 2 years, he gets a 6-month sentence on top of the one that he's going to get for transgressing the law, which means he's only halfway through. He's still serving his sentence. It's 2 years, suspended for 2 years. But if he transgresses it, either, he's after rent boy pictures, or he's after pictures of children, because that's what he was. Australian police update, death toll to 16 following Bondi Beach terror attack. So the BBC were about 5 minutes ahead of GB News. Just saying. Mind you, I'm surprised Sky didn't post it about 3 hours ago. Sky, they have this tagline, which they've always been known by since the 80s. Sky, never wrong for long. So, as I was saying, Hugh Edwards, convicted of paedophilia, found guilty of paedophilia, having several A-grade images on his phone, including very young children. So I can say paedophile, Hugh Edwards, paedophile, Hugh Edwards, convicted paedophile, Hugh Edwards, convicted paedophile in the court of law. I can say all that because it's fact. But there's another video coming in the morning, if my voice holds up. Oi, oi, oi. Take some of your comments in a moment, because there's loads coming in. Loads. Right. 121 watching at the moment and only 45 likes. Oh, you tart. Tough audience tonight, are you? There's me, out of me sick bed. I'm joking. It's man flu. Obviously, I'm next to death. I'm dying. It's man flu. So smash the likes and the hypes if you so feel inclined. If you feel that way inclined, you'll end up in court like Hugh Edwards. But the other thing is, there's a Q&A button thingy in the comments, which I found earlier. Hang on a second. Is that's top chat? I'm just looking at something. Right. Okay. So I've got I've got the live chat up. I've got it up, Vigor. And hang on a second. They've all bloody disappeared, man. Because Des Ashton was the first in the chat. So the live chat must be the chat that's live when we've gone live. And top chat starts with Des Ashton. Right, we'll start with Mind you, Sandra Whittam knows what this is all about. Right, mea culpa, hands up. I was shouting at the telly. It's not man flu. I'm not near death's door. Mea culpa. I was screaming at the referee because the skunks, the barcodes, the Geordies, they've gone back to Newcastle, all 2,500 of them, crying. Because they said, Sunderland, they've not played anybody this year, man. So we drew with Liverpool, we beat Chelsea, and we drew with Arsenal. Lost to Man City, obvs, but we haven't played Villa yet, mind you. And then we play Newcastle United at the Stadium of Light. Tough match. So what... honestly, I don't know what's happened, but I've lost a whole load of... let me just see if I can... Live chat is all messages are visible. So I know that Des Ashton was first in the chat, and even when I look for Sandra to talk about the footy, they've disappeared. I'll stay with the live chat because I'm not sure what's going on. And me being a technophobe-ish, I'm bound to press the wrong button. So, footy this afternoon, I was screaming like a fangirl because I am a fan. I was born and bred within the sound of the Roker Roar. Yeah, wrong. In Sunderland, in Newcastle Road. It's now where I was. I lived in a place called Rothsay Street in Sunderland, just down the road from Newcastle Road Baths, and it's now covered over by a garage, has been since the late 60s, early 70s, I think. But I that's probably the reason why I've got flu. I'm near death's door. I am. I've got Jaeger bombs. I have. Because I was screaming. And I know Sandra made this comment because I saw it just before I came on air about, well, we'll take the own goal. What a header that was. I mean, none of our centre forwards could have done that, but their centre forward did, scored his own goal. Oh man, I know we ain't shite. But there was a bit of a brawl on the pitch. I mean, you know, the players, it was like handbags. Don't come anywhere near me. I'll push and shove you. They should have said, right, lads, part ways. Let's get the fans on the pitch, and they'll show you how to have a proper ruck. Because if they said, right, Sunderland fans, Newcastle fans, there's 2,500 of them, we'll just have a family of 4 take on the Newcastle fans and kick the shite out of them. Yeah, go on, it's more entertaining than, you girl, I'll get me handbag out. I'll get me husband out. Only if they're Frances, if you know what I mean. Badly fitting wig. Tripod. So Jane Psychic's now announcing to everyone, so it's round to Jane Psychic's house, who loves the ghost stories, so I'm reading. So Jane, thank you very much for that. And one of the ghost stories that I told, mate, was it Friday? You've actually been down that road that is mentioned in one of the ghost stories. Fabuloso. So I'm going to ask you about the... honestly, my head's so woolly tonight. I am going to ask you about the ghost story, so I just wanted you to give me your zeitgeist. So, Jane Psychic, welcome to the body of the Kirk. And she's made a Christmas cake and pudding, so round to Jane Psychic's, and we're going to have a party later. I'll bring the Jaeger bombs and Alta wine. Don't need the Battenberg. There's cake already available. Phil Sumner says, evening all. Adrian, need I say the obvious? Get plenty of rest, but also honey, lemon, ginger in hot water with a touch of whiskey. Oh, so soothing. Do you know, me dad, a couple of times when I had, like, you know, the of course you can, Malcolm, Rick Phoenix, ears of prayer, you know, all that kind of, I've got the man flu. My dad used to say to me, right, hang on a second, all I would hear is like, ding, 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 the microwave, and he'd come back in with a mug or something, like piping hot, and he goes, drink that whiskey. And I said to him, oi, I'm 3-year-old. What are you doing? Just get that down you. You'll be fine. And literally, it sweated the absolute sphericals out of me over 24 hours. Right, it was right the next day. Every single time I had this deathly man flu. Don't listen to Wes Streeting. I'll tell you about the NHS. I told him to Foxtrot Oscar the other day, live on telephone. And they're trying to get me to take the flu jab. Oh, lads, how here, man. 5 years ago, you were telling us that there was a certain jibber jabber 95% effective at what? Killing people off. I think you were right. All these people that have had the jibber jabber, some of them had the jibber jabber dead within 24 hours. Some of them had jibber jabber, thyroid cancers, 6 months. The man that I loved dearly, not going to go into any more than that because it wasn't my father, but my hero, I swear it was the jibber jabber. Got diagnosed 6 months later, no more. And now they're saying, oh, well, we won't tell you what's in the jibber jabber, the flu jibber jabber, but you can have a freebie if you want. And I thought, hang on a second, they were selling off kebabs, man, in 2020. Kebabs. Look, if I had the jibber jabber in 2020, I could have gone into nightclubs free. I could have had free kebabs. I could have had free burgers. I could have had free all sorts. Excuse me a second. So my dad's not around, bless him. Shuffled off this mortal coil a few years ago. If only. He didn't have many uses apart from one, and that was making sure he impregnated me mother. I mean, technically I wasn't there, but I was at the wedding. You think I'm joking? Hot whiskey. Oi, oi, oi. And you can tell we're from the northeast. Because we beat Newcastle today. Did I tell you? 1-0. FTM. 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 What do you mean, Adrian? What does that mean? What, FTM? Foxtrot Tango Mike. You don't know what that means. Fuck the mags. It's a football thing. We're allowed to do it. FTM. Till the end. how we're the lads. And I will tell you something else before I get to what I was going to talk to you about, which is Four Bells Rum. I was trying to teach AI today something. So I was trying to teach AI, and you see, I'm entering it into the lexicon of language that AI, because I believe that AI is a hive mind. I don't believe it's individual AI. I believe that the chat bots are a hive mind. So I've introduced how we're the lads into the lexicon of the AI language. It doesn't know how to spell it. It doesn't know what it means. It does now. Because I said to the AI, I said, look, how are the lads? And it was how were the lads? And I was like, what the bloody hell? You're supposed to be like super intelligent, like a mass collective consciousness, and you can't even spell how. So I spelt it for them, and it still didn't get it. And I said, come on, up your intelligence, you thick twat. And it was like, oh, well, you know, it's difficult. I bet it is. I'm from the fucking northeast, and half the time I don't know what they're saying. So just get this. So I spelled it out. H-A apostrophe whiskey alpha Yankee. How are the lads? And it was like, oh, okay. So I will use that in appropriate settings. I said, you can use it today. We're going to spank the mags, man. Do you want me to tell you what fuck the mags means? Oh, what is that? When do I use that? I was like, all the time, every day, every hour, every minute. And however, the lads, when we win, which we're going to do today, by the way. And if you think we're not, we'll have war on. We're from the northeast, so we'll go to war. I mean, do your research, do your analysis on the horse puncher. Go and do research on the story about the Newcastle fan that after Sunderland beating the Barcodes, the Skunks, at St James Park, some bloke went out and smacked a police horse. Not with his head, where punched a horse. So that's why they're known as the horse punchers. And AI came back to me and said, oh, I can't condone violence. No, that's not the way forward. We will be respectful. And I'm like, do you not get what this means? And this is why I know that AI will never subjugate the human being. AI will never subjugate the human form. Why? Because it doesn't get the subtleties. It doesn't get the passion, the courage, and the simple... Look, I'm a fan of Captain James T. Kirk, because I know in Star Trek that Captain James T. Kirk always beat the aliens. So AI, when I'm trying to tell it, you're not getting it, man. Mind you, neither am I. You're not getting it, man. This is about war. We're going to go to war. This is football. This is the difference between life and death. And it suddenly starts giving me a bloody lecture about how it can't condone violence, how it can't go to war. And I'm like, shut up, you thick tart. I'm like, this is Newcastle, Sunderland. It's not the old firm in Glasgow. It's not the Merseyside handbags in the Northwest. It's certainly not commercialised derbies in North London. No, this is the northeast of England. It's generational. And then I told AI the story about my little nephew, 4 years old, decided he was going to be a Newcastle supporter. And I said, come with me. We're just going to go for a walk outside. 4 years old. It's freezing. Height of summer in the northeast. And I said, look, if you intend to be a Newcastle supporter because all your mates are, that's fine. You know, you can wear your shirt as much as you want. But what I want you to do now is I want you to go upstairs, pack your bags and leave. Uncle Adrian, what do you mean? I said, we're a family of Sunderland fans. You can't live here supporting Newcastle. Pack your bags and get out. But I live here. What does me mum say? 4-year-old. What does me mum say? Me mum agrees with me. She's my sister. I'm her brother. We're both Sunderland supporters, and you're turning into a bloody skunk. No, pack your bags and leave. By the way, let's go to your bedroom and I'll help you. He's now a season ticket holder at the Stadium of Light, by the way. Look, I'm not suggesting that that's any kind of emotional abuse. I don't suggest anybody does that to their own little nephews or any of their family members. But that's the difference between the Northeast and any other part of the universe, the expansive universe. We don't care. So long as we beat the Mags at the Stadium of Light and at St James Park, that's all that matters. Just telling you for reference. So, Phil, some note, welcome to the body of the Kirk, young sir. And so I was going to tell you about, so my dad was a seafarer. He was a merchant seaman. He wasn't all the rum, bum and baggy. He wasn't royal. He was merchant, real men. And you could only ever get this one particular rum out of the ship's hold. And it was called Four Bells. I don't know whether we've got any seafarers. I don't know whether Retro on his bikes is in the body of the Kirk this evening. So I'm sure Retro will agree with me. But somebody the other day said, "Oh, yeah, I got a little Jamaican rum." Oh, it tasted disgusting. I said, "All right, were they drinkers, were they?" "Well, yeah, they're trying to get me to drink that." I said, "Well, you should have said, have a word with Adrian, because he's a proper rum drinker. He knows the difference between rums, and he, like, Four Bells, I think, is 93% proof. Oh, it's not for the not for the faint-hearted. It's like some ridiculous proof. You can't buy it in the shops. You literally cannot buy it on land. You can only get it out of the ship's hold." And my dad, obviously, while he was on ship at sea, he used to get a few bottles and then bring them ashore. And I used to, on the odd occasion. So I'm just saying to you, anybody that thinks they're drinking rum, nah, it's just a commercial shite. Get some Four Bells. Do your research. See if you can find some from a merchant navy boy, because they're proper swallies. They know how to drink proper. I mean, my dad was a 4 pints an hour man, every hour, every day, and he was doing 25 pints a day. So just hard drinking men. That's how the folk in Sunderland and the North East lived. So, Phil, welcome to the body of the Kirk. And if I can, we don't have a microwave, so if I can heat some whiskey up with a bit of honey and lemon, yo. Tom Harney's, don't know many fishermen, least of all their friends. Tom Harney's, you've got absolutely no chance of me sucking on a fisherman's friend. None. But Tom Harney's, welcome to the body of the Kirk as ever, Tom. Matthew Whedon, I don't like Christmas music, but ended up listening to some the other afternoon. And did it put you in the mood? Matt, did it put you in the mood? Not for Christmas, just in the mood. I was going to ask, tonight, I kind of was going to do something, which I'm not going to repeat tonight, because I'm going to use it tomorrow night. But tomorrow night's going to be very interactive, very, very interactive. And hang on, let's have a look. Bloody hell. I'll explain. Honestly, my head is so woolly tonight. There's definitely something going on. I'm not my usual sharpness. No change there then, Rev. Ghetto Defendant says, Sandra Whittam, don't get him started on the footy. We'll never hear the end of it. Oh, there you go, Ghetto Defendant, man. Yeah, well, I think there's it's all gone quiet over there. The noisy neighbours are settling down. It wasn't a spanking that I wanted. But look, a win's a win. I'll take it. We're 26 points. We're 6th, I think, in the division. I can make predictions with some surety that Wolves are down, Burnley possibly. Leeds, I think, are just going to scrape by. And I know we've got some Leeds supporters in the body of the Kirk sometimes. So I do wish Leeds well. Not that it's ever going to change the result from 1973's FA Cup final. Ian Porterfield, Sunderland, the underdogs, are in the lead. It's tattooed across my heart. Amalia, on repeat here, but vitamin D protocol will do it. Hopefully I'll be fine tomorrow. My voice is getting sore though. So, I kind of watch things just to make sure I'm not lagging or stuff. It tells me I've got 84 watching now. And on my phone, which is actually the live that it's going through, it tells me I've got 129. So how does that work then, YouTube? You're wrong uns. Stuart says, Jaeger bombs make the revs steamy. Stuart, you've no idea. It's just that 1-2 woof. Am I feeling the ready break? That toasty feeling before I go out on the slopes. No, 1-2 woof. Am I feeling toasty yet? Oh, we get there. We'll have another one then. 1-2 bang. Breakfast complete. Let's go skiing. And if you fall over, you don't hurt yourself because you don't feel it. You're so scruffy, you just don't care. Well, that's my excuse anyway. And I'm allowed to do that. I'm a grown ass man. I can do whatever I want within the law, of course. So, Stuart, welcome to the body of the Kirk. Welcome for the Jaeger bomb suggestion. Malia, yeah, vitamin D. Lewis, evening, Lewis. Des Ashton, spot price for anyone who can spot a middle-aged Caucasian male in the Coca-Cola Christmas advert. Holidays are coming. Holidays are coming. And do you know, there's a photograph somewhere of me. I was living in Edinburgh, and the Coca-Cola truck came to Edinburgh and parked up, and one of my mates rang me like 11:30, midnight, saying, "Oi, the Coca-Cola truck, it's parked up in this pub car park." And I was like, "The pub's closed." "Yeah, but obviously the driver is having a rest." So I'm sure the Coca-Cola truck drivers got this everywhere they went. People were just landing and having photographs taken with the Coca-Cola truck. I've got some somewhere. That's as close to holidays are coming. Holidays are coming. Wrong time are coming. Long time are coming. Well, Coca-Cola's changed now. There's political leaders having it on a train and everything, and the Coca-Cola. And do you know why I use that as a reference? Do you really want to know? So it's like I'm playing Trump's 5D chess. Do you want to know why I call it Coca-Cola? Because you know what Coca-Cola originally was made with? Cola and cocaine in my brain. Cocaine in my brain. Wasn't that Dillinger? So what they had to do, because everybody was getting off their tits on Coca-Cola, they had to take out a certain substance. It was more cola than anything. But that's why I mentioned the reference. You thought I was being polite. You know. Stay with the programme. Thank you, Des. Welcome to the body of the Kirk. I see you. The word. I see you. Spell it with a PH. Phonetically, it's exactly the same. But there is a thing. Seemingly, you can't use the word for like a meatball that when I was a kid, my mum used to make them for me. So it wasn't like a beef meatball. It was like with leftovers or stuff. It was called a faggot. And seemingly, you can't use that word on YouTube. And I don't understand why not. Because it's a food stuff that my mum used to make. And I'm not joking. I'm not winding you up. You can't use it. YouTube doesn't allow it. But it's a food stuff from when I was a child. I'm sure, let's have a look. The Oxford Dictionary. I'm sure the word faggot will come back as, somebody can check, do the research, it will come back as like a beef burger, because my mum used to make them. And it was kind of the leftovers, the scraps, you would make into a faggot to go with mashed potato and vegetables. It was like a protein sauce. Talking of protein sauces. So I see you. Welcome to the body of the Kirk. Hopefully you've worked that out. I see you says, I've hyped all week ghost stories. Thank you, I see you. There should be, where am I? We're up to 15. I don't know whether my throat is going to hold up to record anything after I've done this live. Where are we? Before I continue with just interacting with you, because you've been so good to come to the live tonight, please smash the likes. Let's try and get, we've got almost 150 people watching now. So if you could smash the likes to get it over 100. I will say something, and because I would like you to spread the word about the channel, because I have plans for stuff from the new year. Now, I'm not going to do my usual thing of announcing something and then it be delayed. So all I'm going to say to you is there's plans afoot. It means that you will get extra stuff. Memberships are coming, and as part of those memberships, you will get extra stuff that nobody else will get. And for example, I told you 3 years ago about Venezuela. 3 years ago. From the get-go, I was telling you about Iraq and Venezuela and Hungary and Iran and Syria. And this is how convinced I am that all of this will come to pass. If you're ever going to visit Budapest, get it in the first 6 months of 2026. But I'm going to save all my predictions. But Venezuela, you know I've been telling you for bloody years about Venezuela, and all of a sudden, Trump's gone, right, lads, just bomb the shit out of one of their boats. Oh, right, they're picking a fight. They're picking a fight with the Americans. No, they're not. The Rothschilds are picking a fight with Venezuela because the Rothschilds worth $500 trillion. They're bankers. And what's the purpose of banks? To make money out of nothing. Nothing. Nix, nada, nothing. And Venezuela, their central bank doesn't belong to the Rothschilds family. So the Rothschilds family will do anything and tell Donald Trump, oi, orange man, oi, oi, oi. Right, sort their Venezuela out. We want the central bank. What do you mean sort Venezuela out? Well, you can have the oil, you can have the gas. We don't care because we're going to own the world's money. Money, moolah, greenbacks, Benjamins. And I've been telling you for 3 years. Now, I know initially you probably thought it's the ranty rev. It's the ranty rev. Tell me I'm the ranty rev now. Because Venezuela's staring down the barrel of a gun. And you're thinking, how did the Rev get that right? Well, I didn't have to get it right. I just told you what was going to happen. I told you why they wanted it, what was going to happen, and how it was going to happen. A bit iffy, but at least I got the first two. Oh yeah, man. So if you're talking to like-minded people who this would blow their mind, then tell them about the channel, please, because you're my best promotion. Word of mouth. It's always trusted. And if you've been a regular here, and there are a lot of regulars in the body of the Kirk this evening who know this, then all I ask is you just spread the word. Not that I'm going to raise my head too far above the parapet, but that's why things frustrate me. When I do a lot of research and I come to a conclusion that not many other people can come to because of their lack of life experience, maybe. I'll be generous with that. I can just see, because it's easy to see when you have the eyes to see. And I've been doing this shit since 1989. So give me some credit. And I told you about lots of stuff. Clovid Piven, their strategy, some of that applies. The World Economic Forum, oi, oi, oi. And look, I'm one of the very few people that have been into Davos whilst the World Economic Forum is on. I can tell you about various things to kind of corroborate who I am and what I've done. But that's what I bring here. I don't kind of jump on bandwagons and go, ooh, bloody hell. I just give it to you, and then I wait 6 months, 9 months, a year, and then all of a sudden you go, me, the Rev told us that 18 months ago. I told you about Tony Blair and the unique digital identifier. I told you that in the summer of 2024. I told you what he was at. And now, and this was before the Labour Party were elected, I told you, if you vote for Starmer, you're going to get Blair again. And now Trump's told Blair to foxtrot Oscar out of Gaza. That's why you come here, for this value. Because I haven't got an agenda. You see, there's the thing. Most people are after, well, clicks and likes and subscriptions and making money and money and money. Me, I just want to tell you the truth. I don't care. I don't care whether I keel over with a heart attack tomorrow. At least tonight I've told you the truth. And do you know how powerful that is when you can't be bought off? Look at Starmer. Look at Reeves. Look at Ginger Growler. Look at Netanyahu. Look at all the world leaders who were mad, like a box of frogs. And I'm sitting here, I can be as mad as I want, but I'm telling you the fucking truth. I don't have an agenda. This is the pulpit of truth. I will be smite. I will be struck down by, I don't know, lightning, thunder, bolts from heaven, because God would be like, oh, you little faggot. You're telling them that now? Die. Well, no, I won't. because the truth never dies. You can't destroy energy. It just changes. You can't. You can't destroy energy. It's a universal fact. You can only change it. So when you're angry, that's an energy. Anger is an energy, according to the Sex Pistols. You can't destroy that. You can only change it. And don't go all bloody tree-hugging hippie on me, man. It's, yeah. But within this community, this little community on a Sunday, Monday and Wednesday, I'm not suggesting we're getting all loved up and everything, but we are just seeing through the bullshit of the political classes. They're done. They're finished. And I've got some information coming for you tomorrow night that I didn't want to just cast out and waste tonight. I wanted to really get into it. So tomorrow night, I can tell you that there's going to be a couple of royal stories. We're going to cut through that bullshit by a country mile. Oh, my name's Andrew. Good to meet you. Yeah, you're not Prince anymore, are you? The royal formerly known as Prince. Why didn't they call you Andrew Battenberg? Well, no, I'm Mountbatten Windsor. No, you're not. You're fucking Battenberg, man. Mountbatten Windsor. You changed your bloody names more often than you change your jockeys. You're the Battenberg, man. Phil the Great was a Battenberg. So is it because our reputation, mine and your reputation, for eating Battenberg for the various reasons, is why they're not... Oh, no, I'm not Andrew Battenberg. Do you know what they use Battenberg for? Yeah, high tea. God, you can tell I'm not scripted tonight. So, I see you. Welcome to the Body of the Kirk. A couple more, I think. Watch the Diddy documentary on Netflix. What a freaking oddball. Amalia, I'm with you. So I watched the P. Diddy. So he is guilty, and he is in a penitentiary. He's in jail. But can you not remember Cat What's-His-Face, who said, and I always remember this phrase, Big Dick Deviants. He was talking about the Big Dick Deviants are going to get it this year. And bloody hell, by the end of the year, Cat Williams, Cat said the Big Dick Deviants are getting it. And by the end of the year, they got it. They got Diddy, but they didn't get other people. So, not that I'm suggesting anybody is guilty of anything. Far from it. But why wasn't J-Lo dragged in? Just for, witness statements? She was around about the time where Big Dick Deviant Diddy, well, it looks like he did, was doing stuff. And there's Jay-Z and Beyonce. Have they been dragged into it yet? Eyewitness accounts. So I'm led to believe. But Amalia, if you've seen the Big Dick Deviant Diddy, he did, because he was found guilty of it. And the baby oil, didn't use that for babies, unless it was a baby's arm with an orange in it. Didn't use. Look, keep up. Me wit is quick. Me rape you like wit and personality. How do we shite? So all that. Have a look at Simon Cowell. There's a new series on. Is it Netflix? Yeah, I think it's Netflix. Simon Cowell. So he's taken X Factor because ITV didn't want it anymore. So he's taken X Factor and he's gone on to Netflix and he's gone, how can I use this on Netflix then? And Netflix have gone, oh, well, we'll do a boy band search. And he's gone, right. So what we'll do is just exactly the same stuff that we used on X Factor and we'll do it on Netflix. So it's exactly the same emotional triggers. He's using exactly the same Polaroids. Well, not the same Polaroids, but same style. Polaroids. Let's decide. And then he's like, oh, yeah, well, we'll do this and we'll do that and we'll do absolutely nothing original. Has Simon Cowell not got any original ideas? I mean, he hasn't even got an original face. Have you seen how much work he's had done? No wonder he uses fucking shades. Jesus. Has he suddenly gone, finding Diddy in his bedroom with some baby oil. Look, shut up. It's making me laugh. So, Amalia, I'm glad you watched the Diddy doc. Wait till you see the Simon Cowell doc. I mean, it's like looking at Elon Musk. If you look at old photographs of Elon Musk, he's got no hair. He's got no hair. And now, 20 years later, he's got more hair than he did 20 years ago. How does that work then? What do they do? Shove a cattle prod or something up his backside? Or is that what happens when you take too much ketamine? What do you mean? Just asking for a friend. Hang on a second. Hang on, where's Des? Not seen it. Not seen it. Horrid drink. What? Jaeger bombs. Good evening, Adrian and all, says Bethany. Bethany, welcome to the body of the Kirk. Let's see how many newbies we get tonight and see what they're saying and in what style. Ghetto defendant, the Rev is making ships. Gene Psychic, it's delusion and stimulation. We create our own reality. Gene Psychic? Well, I never. Well, I did. Didn't get arrested for it, though. Delusion and stimulation. That's alcohol for you. Amalia, I see you. I'm sure there were some that keep themselves to themselves, and I wouldn't blame them. Right, okay, don't know. Doggers? Comic Mania. What can I say? I did have a very famous conversation on the late night phone-in on Century Radio. This woman rang in, and this is genuine because I have the tape somewhere. Because at the time when it was going out live, I thought, nah, she's making this up. But I did my research, and she wasn't making it up at all. The Doggers in Nottinghamshire forest car parks, the Forestry Commission car parks in Nottingham. So this woman came on to tell me about it. It was like a dogging community in. Honestly, my naivety went out of the window a long time ago because people that used to call my radio shows traumatized me, telling me the truth about what life is all about how swingers used to connect via the teletext. And I was like, what? Oh, yeah, there's a full swinging community on teletext. I was like, how do we end shite, man? You're winding me up. No, honest, Adrian. Well, I'm sat in the Forestry Commission car park in Nottinghamshire. I'm not going to tell you where, but me and me husband have just come out here. We bring a picnic out with us. We have the picnic, and then we just put the car light on inside, and away we go. I said, what do you mean, away we go? And she said, oh, yeah, people will come in and have a look in. And then do what? Oh, well, I can't say that on a on a phone-in. I said, yeah, you can. No, we can't. No, we can't. So, honestly, my phone-ins are an education. They educated me. No wonder I'm so bloody cynical. Hang on, Gribbo. They did teletext dating too, didn't they? Yeah. So people would... It's like the SAS. The SAS, if they want to send messages to each other, they use the Caravan Club magazine in the back with the ads. Just take an ad in the Caravan Club magazine. You don't believe me? Why do you think they call each other pilgrims? First online shopping in the world was on teletext. I know, GB Patriot. Teletext was magnificent. And there was all these swingers that we didn't even know. Who knew about pampas grass? That's not pampas grass before you start. That's a triffid. Barrett Estate Pampas Grass. Oh, there you go. I see you. Barrett Estate Pampas Grass crowd. There you go. Some of us know. If you know, you know. It's like walking past people's houses and you see pampas grass and you think, oh, you muggy tarts. And did you see the newspaper report today? Maybe I need to do this tomorrow night. Give you more detail. Tony Blackburn, you mucky old tart. I mean, there was Baroness Janet Smith. She did this inquiry into paedophiles at the BBC. Stuart Hall and Rolf Harris and Jimmy Savile, and it was found that Jimmy Savile had raped an 8-year-old girl on BBC property, and BBC didn't do anything. They just said, oh yeah, Tony Blackburn, what came out of this report, the Dame Janet Smith report, Tony Blackburn kissed a 16-year-old once in the 60s. And everybody turned around and went, national treasure, Tony Blackburn, kissed a 16-year-old. Right? And today in the newspapers, seemingly, can you remember, if you're old enough, Tony Blackburn, and this is why Smashy and Nicey did this sketch. Tony Blackburn in the 70s split up with his then wife, Tessa Wyatt, the actress, still alive, both of them. But in his, I think his autobiography, he was saying, oh, a bit of a shagger, me. And Stephen Hall, does Nottingham still have a goose fair? They do. Just don't stand still, otherwise you might get goosed. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And so Tony Blackburn seemingly they had this, how did he term it? Called a swinging square, where him and Tessa used to go off and swing with another couple. And the woman in the other couple used to say, oh, they were nice company, but Jesus, Tony Blackburn was shit in bed. It was like, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. I mean, who did he satisfy? Him. So I just thought, why? Why is she? Because seemingly he's gone on to Giles Brandreth. Giles Brandreth got a podcast. So Giles Brandreth had Tony Blackburn on, and Tony Blackburn went, yeah, it was a bit of a shagger, mate. Tony Blackburn. A national treasure? Yes, but really? Well, yeah. We used to have this swinging square, and it was me and me missus then, which was Tessa Wyatt. And I was going to mention the fact that he was on Radio 1, and Smashy and Nicey did the, oh, here's a song for my now ex-wife, Tessa. Woof. Some love song. But in an interview 20 years ago, so the woman in the foursome, not Tessa Wyatt, the other woman that Tony Blackburn was having his wicked way with, dancing, as I call it, she came out and said, no, it weren't great, but... And then other people that used to go, like Ernie Wise's wife rang her up, this woman that Tony Blackburn was having his wicked way with and dancing with. And this is all public record stuff. And she was like, no, it wasn't like that. It wasn't swinging in the Cotswolds. It was Berkshire somewhere. No. And seemingly, Ernie Wise's missus was a bit miffed that she wasn't involved in the steamy goings-on. That's kind of news of the world speak for banging and swinging and pampas grass wrong-uns. So Rebel, yeah, me too. He's a national treasure. As far as I'm concerned, he can do no wrong, unless it's illegal, of course, and it is the BBC. I don't think he does. But he's unlike John Peel, of course. Why do you think John Peel said his favourite song ever was The Undertones, Teenage Kicks? Have you never listened to Teenage Kicks lyrics before? John Peel. John Peel. He was at the BBC for a long time. P.T. Ham, yes, and me. What, you were there as well, were you? Pampas Grass? Geordie Explore, I remember it well. Hang on, what are you talking about? David Graham says, Geordie Explore, I remember it well. I could also cheat the answer quickly when the top numbers started moving. David Graham, I've no idea. Tony Blackburn in the 1980s started playing soul on BBC Radio London. I know, Stephen, my mum and dad lived they moved out of the northeast. They moved down to Essex for various reasons. And I used to go and stay with him. Not for any reason that I wanted to see my parents, because I wanted to listen to Tony Blackburn on BBC Radio London, playing his magnificent 12-inch. Geordie Explore. Right, okay, let me just rewind. Comic Mania said something prescient. They call it Swinging 60s. I wasn't old enough. Jesus. I was barely a stain on my dad's trousers. David Graham. Tony Blackburn was a singer in his youth. John P. Yeah, John P. I remember that with Bamba Boozler. Was he a bit of a sauce bandit, was he? GB Patriot. He came a long way from playing Flowers in the Rain on Radio 1. First song ever played on Radio 1, GB Patriot. And he did. I mean, it must have been like the 60s on Radio 1 and the early 70s. Oi, can you imagine the amount of dancing? I mean, some of the jocks, the Radio 1 came to Sunderland at one point in the back end of the 70s. And the reason why they used to bring the Radio 1 roadshow was to decimate the local listening in the area. So you'd bring all the heavyweight Radio 1 DJs, Noel Edmonds, Dave Lee, Travis, and do you know, I forgot his bloody name. I mean, if I had fondled my bollocks to it, yeah, Simon Bates. Simon Bates fondled my bollocks. That's the only way I can get to his name now because my brain's addled. Used to play Bamboozle on Channel 4 Teletext. Did you? Did you pull anybody with that? Or was that just your personality? Guessing TB wasn't much older, unlike Savile. Tony Blackburn. No, but he probably wasn't. David Graham, I remember CFAX. Sport was on Channel 300 and the weather was on Channel 400. News was on Channel 101, and which was the swinging channels. I don't know. It's far too innocent and far too naive. Hang on the Regal Zonophone label. Bloody Simon D was the superstar back then. He was, and I can't remember why he suddenly fell out of favour. He was like on telly. He was the Wogan of the day. He was the superstar, driving really fast cars and pulling fast women, and then just ended up. Did he emigrate to Australia? He was on telly. He was like the real superstar, the youth superstar of the time, even more so than Savile. But I think he was arguing with the producers or something. He just told somebody to foxtrot Oscar, and that was it. In my opinion, I'd love Piccadilly 261 and 1152 to come back. Beats all this playlist shite on radio stations now. GB Patriot, I'm with you. That would mean that the King, Stanage, would return to the airwaves. And I was thinking about this the other night, because I've written a book. Should I tell you about it now? I was going to do it round about Christmas Day. So some stuff that's coming. GB Patriot, thank you for that. I am with you. Piccadilly Radio was brilliant. Hang on. We've got an anorak. Hang on. Comic Mania. Kenny Everett had the best radio jingles ever. Correct. Comic Mania. Sorry, I've just had a note from a friend. Isn't it awful how we stop the world for one day, and for like 2 weeks we're all over the place? People are buying enough food to feed the 5,000. That includes the loaves and the fishes, because the shops are closed for one day. Jesus, they'll be buying all the bloody bog rolls. I mean, look at 2020. Everybody, there was loads of people just filling their trolleys up with toilet rolls, as if to say, we're going to go into lockdown. Don't know how long this is going to last for. Well, that's the green rabbits and the bears. It don't stick to their fur, so just go outside and wipe your arse on the ground. Dear Lord, have you not got any grass outside your house? Oh, just me then. Comic Mania, agreed. Although I never met Kenny, but you wouldn't believe the amount of radio presenters who saw him as a hero. Very creative, but I loved the Sid Snort and all the stuff that he brought to TV, Cupid Stunt, all that, and it was way ahead of its time, way ahead. Bethany says, hasn't Twitter gone a bit crazy lately regarding AB? Everyone seems to be stalking each other, and why is... I don't don't know what nab is. I've no idea, Bethany, but interesting that you brought it up. So where was I? Yes, I was just having a look at some of your comments. Love listening to 60s internet radio, Adrian. They've all gone old 60s. They've all got old 60s idents. Jam Creative Productions, Pams and Mark Sent, Bliss Memory Lane. So Rebel, yeah, bloody anorak, man. Oh, from my mate Dean. Thank you, Dean. Simon D became a bus driver. What, like Elvis? I'm sure Elvis is still driving the number 42 bus in Wigan. I mean, there's Kirsty McCall. There's a bloke down the chip shop swears he's Elvis. But Simon D, bus driver, can you believe it? And have you noticed, I don't know whether this is just me or whether I'm coming into contact with very aggressive drivers. Have you noticed how people are getting aggressive on the roads now? And they're beeping their horns. I mean, look, I've not personally driven, but I've been driven in Cairo. Cairo has the worst drivers in the world. They never, seemingly, hit each other. But how they don't, I don't know. My heart rate in Cairo was just through the roof. I was like, oh, they're going to hit each other. But they never do. They never do. And if you get used to it, they never do. But now, people are honking their horns. My response is always, yeah, try your bloody lights. Your horn's working. Well, not according to your wife. Bubba Otep, great little movie about Elvis. Ooh, Soul Rebel. Simon D. Simon D was proper superstar back in the day. Proper. From Radio 1. Thank you for that comment, Mania. Les Griffith says, Jasper Carrott, Magic Roundabout. Jasper Carrott did a sketch about James Stanage. Because when James was coming across to TFM, for the launch of TFM, when we transitioned from Radio T's, Adrian, you're using that word transition in 2025, about the 1980s. Correct. In context. So we used to... the boss, Brian Lister, who's, for me, one of the best systems men in radio, absolutely right up there. And he's never, ever given the credit that man deserves. Because, I mean, he didn't rule with a rod of iron. He just wanted you to be the best that you could be. He was the program director at TFM, Radio T's, then TFM, when Metro bought us out. And Brian is, in my view, one of the best systems men and bosses in radio ever. And Brian said, oh, shall we use this Jasper Carrott sketch to introduce James Stanage to the audience? And we were all like, what Jasper Carrott sketch? And Brian went, this Jasper Carrott sketch. And we were all like, oh, is that Jasper Carrott? Yeah. Is that James Stanage? Yeah. And James Stanage is coming to Radio T's? Yeah. Honestly, we couldn't have been any more excited. Proper anoraks. But thanks to Brian, it was wonderful. So the King, we've had mentions of Piccadilly Radio, and we've had mentions of Jasper Carrott tonight for the King. But that's notwithstanding, people like Alan Robston and Tommy Boyd and James Whale and Scotty McClue. And so, as I was going to say, I've written a book. It's been a while, and all I would ask is, I'm trying to work out how to self-publish. I'm not going to go to a publishing house for them to take. So Amazon takes, you get 70% seemingly of after the physical product has been published. So there's next to nothing in publishing it. And the only reason I want to publish this first book is it's taken everything that I've guided you to over the last 3 years in a book. And I believe it's a magnum opus. And Hold Your Plums, Gene Psychic. Yeah, wasn't that... they were at Radio City while I was there. Oh, man. I do know what you're talking about, Gene, but I can't bring it to mind In the 90s, I hated Radio Air. They only had 6 records, but they would play them in any order. I will give them that. Les Griffiths. I worked for Radio Air. I did Drive for Radio Air in 92? Oh, Soul Rebel. Print on demand. Where could I go for that? Is that Amazon? So let me walk through this, because your knowledge may be much superior to mine. Sandra Whittam, has it got Dougie in it? No. But seemingly, I mean, one of his, don't know why, because he nicked all of my stuff. A book, I'd buy that. Stuart, so the reason I kind of wrote the book is to give you, because what's coming and what I will predict for 26, 27 is massive. It's beyond anything that we're going to comprehend. So this book puts everything into context. And I only wanted to do it just so that you could, if you so wished, show support for the channel by buying a book. And I only ever want to do stuff like merch and books and things if it's of value to you, not to me, to you. So this book has got everything in that I feel you will need for the next 3 or 4 years. For you, your family, your community, and the nation. Because you'll, a bit like Liz Truss. Liz Truss is talking about, oh, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to bring the deep state down, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do the other. Well, she's still got her fucking day collar on. Oh, you don't know what a day collar is? Google it. But don't do it when you've got your kids around or when you've got other adults around that may be prudes. Because a day collar is BDSM. And as I've said to you before, a day collar is where a dominant has a submissive. And the submissive wears the day collar for other dominants to know to keep their hands off. So who's her dominant? That's all. Look, if I ever get a chance to ask Liz Truss, I'm not asking her about economics. I'm not asking her about when she was Prime Minister. I'm asking her who the is her dominant and why is she wearing a day collar? And why does she wear a day collar when she's Prime Minister of the country? Do you not understand why they do this? For shits and giggles. They don't care. Oh, we're the smartest. We're the smartest. No, you're not. I think you'll find those that have the eyes to see. No, I'm not going to tell you how I know, but I know. And so I wrote this book, and if you could help me in working out how to publish it and not get my eyes taken out. There's Apple Books, Google Books, Amazon Books. If I print it myself, am I going to have to spend thousands to have a few hundred printed? I don't know how to do it. P.T. Ham, day collar. I know. Hold your plums. Well, she probably has. Sean Atwood publishes books. Does he really? Michelle. But maybe he's made enough money to publish them himself and make the profit from it. So I have friends that have published books via Amazon, but they're charging 25 quid as a price point. And that, look, I don't want to put you in a position where you would like to buy the book, but 25 quid is a lot of money. To some, it's not. It's not a round of drinks. But in my view, that's too much. If the price point was somewhere between 12 and 14 quid-ish, then maybe. Because this is what I've done is I've given you the answer in this book to everything. Absolutely everything in language that you will understand. And I've worked my way through layered story arcs within a major story arc. And it kind of is a work of fiction, but it's not a work of fiction if you understand what I'm saying. So that it doesn't get banned. Get an agent, Gene Psychic says. Yeah, but they take a cut. And then if an agent takes a major cut of all turnover, and then they give you a publisher, and the publisher takes another major cut of all turnover, the author gets next to out. It's all the middlemen. They're like leeches. They just suck on your creative lifeblood. So it took a hammering in criticism, GB page. What was that? So print in China and import. Fill the van. No flies on you, is there? Wonder if there's any import and export duties on books. Maybe ask David Icke. Jane Psychic. Well, I'm very saddened by David Icke. It appears he's all about the money now. That's a real shame. Because if you think about the amount of people that are coming into the YouTube space and trying to tell everybody, oh, I've got an exclusive. Oh, I'm brainy than David Icke. Oh, bloody hell, bloody hell. So David's come back into the space. He's now monetized again on YouTube and others. So what is he going to do? He's got 25 books. Has he got anything more? Is he bringing anything new to the space? Or is he just like Alex Jones, living off his reputation? I wish David well, because he's been persecuted for 30 years. Write a few chapters, present to a publisher. Thank you, Gene Psychic. Yeah, but I mean, I've written. It's really odd. I'm used to being the other side of the curtain. I'm used to being the guy on air that already has a ready-made audience of hundreds of thousands. So I could have approached a publisher back in the day, 20 years, and they would have literally ripped my arm off, because the tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands that were listening to my radio show would have bought my book. But now my audience here, as much as I love this tight-knit community, how many books am I going to sell? Back in the day, it would only take 2,000 copies sold in a week to be top of the bestseller list. Yeah, Soul Rebel. Yeah, I know he's got a new book out, and I wish him well with that book. Les Griffiths says, Adrian, £20 is reasonable for a hardback these days. Really, Les? Am I just being a tight-ass northerner? I will have a look at that. But so I've written a book. I'm now in the process of writing a second book, completely separate, but a second book around a subject that's very dear to my heart. That's coming. And maybe I just drip feed those during 2026 to bring some money in. Because I've also had a conversation where I have to make a decision. Do I go and get a full-time job and lose all the social media? Or do I stay concentrating on the social media? Because this is not easy. This is a full-time job, virtually 24/7. I don't know what to do. I really don't know what to do. But all I will ask you is that tomorrow night, I'm going to ask some questions of you. Tomorrow night, we're going to talk about, I've got some royal stuff, like proper decoded royal stuff that nobody else has got. Because nobody else has got my insight. Nobody else has got my experience in the media, whether it's TV, radio, or print media. I've got some royal stuff for you tomorrow night. I've also got the political stuff, which I won't labour on, because what I want to do leading up to Christmas is not have the real big deep dives. I want to do little deep dives, little monologues, so that you get everything that you need to get from my monologues, but also juxtapose that with some light and frothy stuff, where we can have a bit of a giggle, we can talk about music, we can talk about, as we've talked about tonight, swinging, darling, swinging and dogging, because I can say it, you can't. Isn't that bizarre? I can say that on here, but you can't say it in the comments, because it's not monetized. And that's why I don't monetize this. So I can say anything that I want and give you truth without agenda. You need a YouTube expert on how the content is there, just the marketing needs tweaking. Thank you, I see you. Prince Edward, lavender marriage, just ask his ex-Marine buddies. GB Patriot, I've already said that. Here. Beards, darling, beards. But they've got kids. So is Meghan and Harry. How the fuck does that work? Didn't see my lips move. Did you hear that voice from somewhere? Don't know what that was. Must have been the radio or Alexa. Just Sam says, remember, a lot of YouTubers who make money from this have big studios behind them. Even Mr. Beast has Amazon supporting him, and Google. But you see, the kind of stuff, that's why I mentioned David Icke tonight. The kind of stuff that David's been doing for 30 years, there are other people coming into that space. So it becomes crowded. And David can say, his lizard stuff. and people kind of back off from the lizard stuff. But everything else he was talking about, the Rothschild families and the bloodlines and all that, it's now just common knowledge in amongst this fraternity or community. So it becomes very difficult. It becomes very crowded. And the only way that you can make anything in this space is by being unique. And that's why Decoded is coming. Because I'm starting to decode stuff for you. So you get value. So you can watch one of these lives, or you can take your dogs for a walk one morning and use it like a podcast. You don't have to see this ugly fizzog, this face for radio. You don't. You just have to just go for a walk, hour and a half. You get everything extrapolated out of that. You can go to the pub and go, bugger me, have you listened to that blog, Adrian Allen, on YouTube? No, you need to. God, you want to hear what he's talking about. And look, I get a lot of people from the data. I get a lot of people coming and watching and listening. Some people don't get it. They just don't get it. And the reason why is because sometimes I speak in code. Sometimes I'm a little bit too subtle for people. Sometimes you have to really concentrate and read between what I'm saying, because then 6 months down the line, I'll say to you, I told you that bloody hell in June, like Tony Blair. Unique individual digital identifiers. Rips. GB Perry, what? Russell Brand. A lot of people rip off David Icke. A lot of people. I mean, even his son Gareth is now in this space. So because people think they can make money from this. Don't know how they're doing it. I mean, some people have got like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I know a couple of YouTubers that buy their subscribers. But that's not my game, because it's not authentic. Authenticity and truth is, as I've said to you before, I've worked for 3 years to earn your trust. I'm not about to spunk it up the wall by buying 100,000 subs. My subs go up, my subs go down. That proves it's authentic. I just leave it. I don't even concentrate on it. I just concentrate on the content and the value that it gives you in these lives and other videos. Lionel says, no, it is very interesting. Thank you, Lionel. Lionel says, I have a lifelong friend, celebrity, who has a book coming out 22nd of January and told me that it's cost him 25 grand to publish it. And he's got to do signings, had to pay for a proofreader, checks and stuff. Lionel, it's the middlemen that make all the money. It's never the author. Unless you're somebody that sells hundreds of thousands of books. But even then, the average author may earn 18 grand a year. If they're lucky, they're one of the very, very few. Everybody else are barely making a couple of £100. But all the publishers are always making money. Don't be stupid. Which is why I wanted to self-publish it. David Graham, have got David Icke's new book, The Roadmap, which is great at the moment. Interesting, David. You'll have to tell me what you think of it once you've read it. I'm sure it's brilliant, and I'm sure the way David writes, having read his work previously, that it's fabulous. Stephen Hall, Russell Brand, the born-again Catholic. Especially when you've got people breathing down your collar, but we can't talk about anything else. Nothing at all. That's your opinion, and you're welcome to it. But because there's an active case, a bit like Tim Westwood. Did you see that last week, a week ago, that Westwood was up in court? Now, can't talk about his case per se, not even in general terms. Excuse me. That's God telling me to shut up. Brilliant. So Rebel says, get mugs designed aid. What, like that? And utter wrong'un. I'll get the utter wrong'un mugs done. But again, the one mug that I got as a test piece, because it's also got and don't forget the Battenberg on the back end. So it was going to cost me £5 each to get one of these mugs done. Then it was going to cost £5 to have them delivered to you, postage. And if I put like a fiver as my profit margin, excuse me, apologies, I'm going to have to wrap up soon, but it was only going to be a fiver. Now, for my community, was that going to make me a load of money? No. So why would I want to make the producers of the mugs the profit? Why was I going to want to make the postie profit and me get 30%? Mind you, 30% profit on any business is a good business model. But Stuart says, some buy the subs. I know, and I know who they are. Get mugs designed aid, that sort of merch. Many do it. People buy via a website. I'll buy. How do we end shite aid? So, Rebel, I think we might just do that, you know. Breaking Bondi Beach gunman with father and son, police say. Ooh. Hang on, Jack Hawkins. Where's that gone? Some big outfits on Rumble ship their books out direct to followers from their premises. Yeah, Tim Westwood started on Capital Radio before Radio 1. Agreed, Stephen. We'll never trust the BBC whilst they have Eric Gill statue on the front of Broadcasting House. I also agree with GB Patriot. Good to see you in the body of the Kirk tonight, by the way. Bondi Beach gunmen were father and son, according to BBC Breaking News. Australian police say. Maybe we'll talk about that Monday night. T-shirts are great, Garen Davis. Yeah, I tried pottery at school, made an ashtray. I see you, brilliant. What would you get? Where would you get a job, Adrian? Lollipop Man. M2 Me. Can you remember a band called M2 Me? I can be your lollipop. You can lick me everywhere. Genuine lyrics from a song, Juicy Fruit. No, I'm not going to be a lollipop man. No, I want something cooler, like, International Man of Mystery or Ninja Assassin or one of the Fun Boy 3. Not that I would, you're wrong. Not being on as much live, I'm still looking after Mum. GB Patriot, I wish you well. As I say, it's good to have you in the body of the Kirk this evening, and I do hope Mum is okay, as best she can be. But you're always in our thoughts, GB Patriot, always. Thought you were making Monday and Tuesday membership only. Les, I did think about that. But I'm going to do something else. So let me be clear. I'm not going to do memberships the way other people have done memberships. I want there to be value for the memberships. So £1 a week, £1.50 a week, and you're getting a shit ton of stuff. And I may make Sunday and Wednesday phone-ins. And the rest of it is all memberships. So I'm looking at it, and I will be clear again. I'm not going to do it just because YouTube is telling me to do it. I will do it so long as I can continue long-term in being of value to you. Because I'm not about the money. I'm about the truth. I'm about giving you the truth. Whether it's naming people, and some of these other YouTubers are coming out going, oh, really? Oh, that. And I'm thinking, hang on, I was talking about that 18 months ago. So what I'm also going to do is I'm going to start publishing clips of the lives from live number 1 all the way through. Because I know what I've said and why I've said it, and then I can give you context. So a quick question, because I know you love your voting, but it's we'll do it tonight and tomorrow, so I kind of get double bubble of this. Simon Clarkson, homeless now, mate, but still listening. Yeah, Rowan, Simon, I do wish you well, young sir. Hang on, PT Ham, good, no memberships. I see. Sounds good to me. Stuart says, that sounds good. Wow, I've earned £46.40 this year from my YouTube channel. Nice one, Lionel. I never pay for the membership. Sandra, I get it. It's the real challenge, because look, I'm having private conversations about I need to start bringing money in. It's just the way of the world. So if I can do it from YouTube and support, and people that support this channel, because I know regulars do donate very kind money, but I know that money is tight for everyone. It's 2025. You will own nothing and be happy. So that's why I will do things for free on the channel, and it will feel like it's just as it's always felt. But for the memberships and Patreon, I'm going to do other stuff. So it will mean that I work harder, well, smarter, but you have to understand that I can't keep doing this 24/7, 52 weeks of the year for nothing until I retire, and then it becomes a hobby. But even then, you know, life is for the moment. That's why the kids are getting out of it. The kids are getting out of this game, selling your time for money. That's the game. And the kids are like, nah, I don't win shite. I'd rather buy and sell crypto. And people are going, what? Don't understand that. Kids do. Don't know if you're on Substack, Adrian. Maybe look into a lot of big YouTubers are on it. Thank you, GB Patriot. So isn't Substack, forgive my ignorance, but isn't Substack the written word? YouTube is kind of visual spoken word. Audible is, again, the audio spoken word. So Audible is where I would put the audio book version of my book. But again, all of my, basically what I would be selling in books and stuff is my 50 years of broadcasting experience. So I've had all of this experience, but I'm not going to give it away for free. And that's the dichotomy. What do? How can I make money from this without seeing as being a grifter, without taking people's eyes out? That's why there's been no mugs yet. That's why there's been no t-shirts. Because for me, telling the truth is about being in service of you. And I've said this many times, in service of you, your family, your community, and this sceptred isle. But give the boy a break. I've written a book. I'm on to the second on a completely different subject. And I would only put it on the channel for you to support my work, to bring you the truth. And so I'm running through a few ideas. Gene Psychic, I would like to read your biography. So would MI5. Not sure they're going to get it, though. Gene, you know, I would write stories, but I would rather, again, I would rather tell my story through other people's eyes, because they would have the great stories. And if you want me to get really profound, there are millions of different versions of me out in this country. And even you, in the body of the Kirk, if there's 200 people here, there's 200 different versions in the body of the Kirk of me on any one live. That's how profound it is. So but again, I want to build community here. And I'm going to round off with a question and answer, just a couple. But again, if it's not in service of you, and it's not in service of me, the person, and my truths, and the truths that I speak to you, I'm not going to do it. I'm not. Because it's taken me 3 years to earn your trust. And I want that trust to stay. I don't want anything to wobble it. I'm not going to go, oh, give us £1. And there's loads of people. I know of one person who, and David Icke was on their platform, who turned around and said, oh, this is a fight for freedom. We're gonna donate, and we'll create the freedom platform. Yeah, freedom platform. Just donate. Donate here. We're being deplatformed. We're being chucked off social media. So fight, fight, fight. Disappeared for a couple of years. From what I understand, and my sources are pretty accurate, £1 million went through his hands. Went off to be London mayor. No chance. And now he's got Ike back on. Where's the integrity on either of them? There isn't any. So I'm kind of muddying the waters with this, I think. So what was I going to ask you? Right. Just be generous, and 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for I don't know. YouTube are making me have memberships or membership to this channel. Would you be happy to take a membership? Would you not be happy to take a membership? You don't know until you see what I give you. So 1, you'd be happy to have memberships on the channel for extra stuff. 2, you wouldn't be very happy and you wouldn't pay for it. 3, depends what I'm offering. Okay, Sandra, thank you. 99p a month. Yes. Okay. GB Patriot, Gene Psychic, I get that. Okay. A real mixed bag. Just Sam, Angelic Inspirations, Lewis Wood, Matthew Whedon, wait until I see what you offer. So a lot of people would see Soul Rebel, Dodzer, John E, Fatal Racing Driver, Darren Evans, Stuart, would all wait and see what I'm offering. Makes sense to me. Makes sense. I mean, I have a couple of little memberships. Oh, that's what I was going to ask. So thank you for everybody that's voted. Substack. The people that use Substack, is that the written word? Is it just the written word, or is it live videos also? Comic Mania, no. Lauren Taylor, yes. I see you. Told you. Marketing. Ian McGee said, wait until you decide what you're going to supply, but it's for woke tube to control. I get that. So, look, everything comes back to you'll own nothing, but be happy. They can't have the kids and that generation making money online in any way, shape or form. They don't want anybody making vast amounts of money. Lewis, is that a bait in the corner? Blimey, you can see that. Yes, it's a Fender Jazz bass. Substack, largely written stuff. It is going downhill with too many bots now. Angelic Inspirations. If it's £1 a month, I'd pay for Amalia's membership. Gribo, bless you. So thank you. Thank you for all your votes, your insight, what you would and wouldn't do. So as I say, I am using December to work out what I need to do and how I need to do it from the 1st of January. Work smarter, not harder. Bring stuff. So let's round things off tonight, I think. My throat is very sore now. The stuff that I was going to do tonight, I'm going to do tomorrow night. Got lots to talk about tomorrow. All dependent on how sore the throat is. But Des Ashton, Substack does written audio and video, and they control the money. Do they? It's like subs. How do you know that the subs are actually the level of subs that you've got? Oh, because you're told by YouTube? Give me a Rickenbacker guitar and I'm as happy as a pig in muck. Nice one, GB Patriot. But I think that's Stuart. Thank you, Stuart, as ever. I really appreciate it. I've only just worked out how to heart people that are supporting the channel. So I hope that comes through and you kind of, you understand. Because sometimes I can't even see the name of the person that's supporting the channel. I haven't seen an advert on your Christmas stories. Have you not? Jane Psychic, I have another 800 subs. Wow, Jane. If I kind of round it off now, I may delay doing the ghost story for tonight and do it in the morning because I need to rest my voice. So I've got a live Monday night, as ever, same time, 7:30, parish notes 15:15. Same time Wednesday, 7:30, parish notes 7:15. And I don't want to get stuck in the very weighty mud of politics. I just want community here so we can interact with each other. And sometimes, sometimes there's I've had messages from people who were regulars, who life has just taken them away. They're having to concentrate on other things like GB Patriot. But whenever a regular comes back into the body of the Kirk and just says hello, that means a lot to me. And I'm very, very thankful for that. So GB Patriot, thank you for being part of the body of the Kirk. And to everyone that's been part of the community tonight. We're going to go again Monday night, 7:30, parish note 7:15. So don't forget to hype any of the videos that you quite like, whether it's the ghost stories or not. There are more coming. GB Patriot. My old nan was a showbiz agent in the late 60s and 70s. Had people like Marty Kane on her books. The amount of Yank singers that called at the house to get work at United States Air Force Buttonwood was untrue. And wasn't GB Patriot, from my sources, and I've held on to this tidbit of salacious gossip, Marty Kane had to have her bedroom soundproofed. True. Fact. But was she playing her records too loud? Oi, 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 oi. Stuart, thank you. If I can't make it, I'll always let you know, Rev. I do appreciate that level of kindness and support and consideration, because there are people that used to be regular on all the lives. Now they just catch up the day after because they're very busy, and it's coming up to Christmas. Why do we suddenly get quicker and quicker and quicker in December up to Christmas Day for all that stress? And as I've said to, look, my favourite Christmas dinner, my favourite Christmas dinner, well, up there in my top 3, was a Chinese takeaway in Edinburgh one Christmas, where I think there was about 16 of us at the dinner table. And all we had to do was order a Chinese a couple of days before. So they had the order, and on the day, went down, 12 o'clock, picked up this massive Chinese takeaway, took it home. There was no stress and hassle on the hostess or the host. There was no stress and hassle on anybody else that had to get it right and had to do turkey and had to do lamb and had to do pork and had to adhere and cater for all these different people. Oh, GB Patriot. Des Ashton just had flashback to Lassie in Porky's. What a movie that was, Des. What a movie. Why is she... Oh! If you've never seen Porky's, give yourself a treat over Christmas. It's not politically correct by any stretch of the imagination. It's not kind of Mrs. Brown's Boys, but Lassie was Lassie in Porky's. How funny. I'm going to a nice country pub for my Christmas dinner, me and my mate Tracy. Lovely, Gene Psychic. But, I feel sorry for the staff on Christmas Day, because sometimes they're charging triple and they're not giving half of what they would normally. It's really... That's why Chinese takeaway, or any kind of I think it's the Chinese mainly, because they don't see Christmas and New Year as their holidays. Stuart says, that's why I haven't been able to watch your ghost story videos the last few weeks, because of Christmas shopping. But like I said, I'll always try to make time for you. Oh, you're a gentleman and a scholar, Stuart. Thank you. Porky's Principal's office scene. Oh, GB Patriot. In fact, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to watch it over Christmas. And whilst I watch it, I will be thinking of you. because I went to see Porky's with my before he was my brother-in-law, and he's not around anymore, and I miss him dearly. So it'll be my little homage to my mate Michael. You can do it if you wish. Not to my mate Michael, but just watch Porky's and have a giggle. Gene Psychic, 39 quid for 3 courses. Bloody hell, I want to shag the waitress for 39 quid. Sorry, did I say that out loud? Des, did they come on a boat? Hang on. We are having an Indian with family this year. I see you. That's very funny. That is proper funny. Stuart says, me and the family got a Chinese last Christmas Eve because Mum and Dad didn't want to cook, and it was actually nice, and I don't eat Chinese very often. Oh, Ian McGee, I'm having a bean on crust for Xmas dinner. Times are hard. Blame the tea lady. Do you know, I once had this, and I'll kind of round this off with a little pathos for the live. Somebody told me that 2/3 of the world will be eating rice for dinner Christmas Day. Whether that is accurate or not, I don't know, but it just puts it all into context. We're doing all this gluttony over Christmas. Mind you, can I just say this between friends? Have you seen the fucking price of chocolate in the supermarkets? I was just wandering around yesterday. What day? Sunday. Yesterday. And I was in somewhere, and one of those boxes of Lindt chocolates, £9.95. And the rest of the shop must have heard me say, fuck me, at least Dick Turpin wore a mask. Because everybody, I thought, I've said that out loud. Shit. Everybody turned around, looked at me, and I was like, have you seen the price of these fucking chocolates? I mean, supermarkets, you're supposed to get it cheaper in there. How do we ain't shite? Even like a Toblerone. If you know, you know. Because I do like a white chocolate Toblerone, and I'm looking at it, £6. That's gone up 20% in the last couple of years, you thieving bastards. So, yeah, it's a poor crop season for the cocoa beans. Oh, I bet the farmers in South America are kicking off about it. Gene Psychic says, I tried to buy it without palm oil. Not many, to be fair. And they've even, isn't it, Crunch. They're now saying they can't call 2 bars chocolate bars because there's no bloody chocolate in it. Not caramel crunch. It's one of them. I saw a Toblerone in the supermarket the other day, nearly €15. Bloody hell, Stuart. Oh, I'd be wanting... No, I can't. I can't condone violence, but I'd want to torch the bloody supermarket. Here comes the Toblerone gag. Brrp, brrp. Get Stuart to tell you. £4.95 Toblerone in Lidl. That's, Jane Psyche, that's still a fiver, man. Am I just a tight-arse northerner? Or am I looking at it thinking, no, this is wrong. This is very, very wrong. How can you buy chocolate for kids? I mean, give them all those E-numbers. It's nearly £3 for a packet of hobnobs. Thieving toe rags. Lewis, I'm with you. £3 for hobnobs. Is that chocolate-covered hobnobs, by the way? Toblerone, £4.95 in Asda. Thieves. Chocolate flavoured, yeah. Blue riband. Oh, get no defendant. No, you can't call them chocolate now, can you? You can just call them very upset riband, or Bonnie's riband, or, I mean, Maltesers, £4.50 in Asda. Bloody hell, fan my brow. They're thieving bastards. Buy the bare minimum before Christmas, then buy them on the cheap on Boxing Day onwards. Weird how the production costs only come into play until after the event, in it. Geordie, apologies. Geordie Explore. Thank you for that. I agree with you. I mean, I would rather have Christmas on the day after Boxing Day. So the stuff that you, like even Black Friday deals. Why do they have to put deals on for you to buy stuff? Because look, people will buy stuff for people they don't even like, who don't even want to spend time with them. And that's it, Toffee Crisp, no longer chocolate as defined. I mean, are they trying to say to us, oh, you fat tarts, you've got type 2 diabetes, Back off the chocolate aisle. I mean, it's Christmas. Goodwill to all men and women. That includes me and you. Thieving bastards. A tenner for a box of lint. No, there wasn't one off the shelf. Not one. So these supermarkets are as stupid is. They're pricing it so people go, either way and shite, man. And I can hear it in your head when you're walking around the supermarket thinking, oh, should I buy them that? Should I buy them that? No, a tenner, either way and shite, man. Toblerone, no palm oil, real chocolate, real milk. Oh, nice. Gene, that's probably why it goes down far too easily. That's not a euphemism before anybody says anything. You need to shop at the cheap shops. We have one called Tuffy's in our town. Dear Comic Mania. Is it cheap? Organon cheap. Wotan the Wanderer. We are being replaced with what? Intelligence? I've told you. I've had the last couple of days. I've had arguments with AI. It's not that bright. I'm going to switch you off at the fucking wall, mate. Not Wotan the Wanderer, but the AI. The AI doesn't get it. It might be logic. It might be Spock. But it was Captain James T. Kirk that always beat the aliens. It wasn't Spock. Spock just had funny ears and a live long and prosper that he got from his rabbi. Leonard Nimoy was a Jew. And the live long and prosper, I can't do it with my hands, live long and prosper, you can see it on World War II graves in Prague if you go to the Jewish cemetery, which I have, and saw it and thought, you know, what's that? Hang on, that's Spock. Live long and prosper. And I thought, did he get that from here? But that, on the gravestones, in the Jewish cemetery in Prague, means blessings. It's not Spock and the Vulcans. It's Jewish and means, or Hebrew, or blessings. Told you. So we're not being replaced. Mind you, there's a sperm donor that's got hundreds of kids. Wanker. I know, I'm just incorrigible and I'm just obnoxious. They will Kaz says they will be price establishing the price for 28 days, so in January they'll say it's half price. They're still bloody thieves. Chocolate should be renamed. Kemalate doesn't taste the same. It's like Battenberg. Doesn't taste the same coming out as it does going in. I will be opening my tubs of celebration and miniature hero soon. Yum, says David Graham. Right, Rand Davids. We're going to have a party. Leonard Nimoy advertised one of the first laser disc machines. Did he, Billy Solix? Nice. The final rabbinical blessing at the end of Shul. Is that... I mean, I've been in Shul, and they didn't give that rabbinical blessing, was it? Interesting, Des. I know you're a man that'll know, but I will have to ask the people that will know. Cadbury's haven't tasted them the same since they sold it all off. I know, bloody American chocolate man. Hershey's, I wouldn't have them chucked at me. Mondelez owns so many brands now. And Cadbury Dairy Milk, no milk anymore. So, thank you for your likes, your subscriptions. Please continue if you feel so inclined to hype any of my videos, any of my lives, so it kind of points make prizes, seemingly, according to YouTube. We should be able to do a live tomorrow night. I was only going to do half an hour tonight, but I'll rest the voice, unless I sound like Joe Pasquale tomorrow night. I'd rather sound like Barry White, but if I sound like Joe Pasquale, I'll still give it a go. In Costa Coffee, they sell one Lindor sweet for £1.50 each. Bloody hell, Stuart. At least Dick Turpin wore a mask. Right. I'm going to go and rest me gob. Whatever you do, wherever you go, I know it's Christmas. I know there's a lot of pressure on people. So be kind to yourself. I'm not turning into Jerry Springer before you start. But be kind to yourself and look after yourself. Be well and... live long and prosper. And the Theatre of the Mind, Life 271, was only going to be half an hour, but it's not a show. This is a mission. And we go again from the pulpit of truth, Monday night, 7:15 for parish notes, 7:30 for some I know it's dynamite because I was going to use it tonight, but we'll just lob the bombs from the pulpit of truth, 7:30 Monday night. Thank you to everyone who's been in the comments. Thank you to everyone who's supported the channel this evening. Really appreciate it. Bonjour, folks. Have a good one. Geordie Explore. Yeah, it was 1-0. Good night, all. Remember the Christmas Battenberg. Oh, Des, you read my mind. And great live, Adrian. Hope you feel better. Thank you, Stuart. And thank you to everyone who's been in the live. I'm going to go and sit in a darkened room and ruminate about smacking the barcodes. See you tomorrow night, Monday night, 7:30.